Hello beautiful people, and this time welcome back to me because yes, we are back home from the holidays. We had to shorten the holidays due to the weather being absolutely extremely hot. So we have arrived the last night at around about 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning. I finally have landed in my bed and slept a couple of hours and said, you know what, we definitely must take maximum advantage of this Alliance Honor match because there are so many possibilities to test, and this is by far the best testing tool possible we have right now in TOPWAR. So what are we gonna do in this episode? We're gonna test the Kris sword versus the Xyston set. Now, even if you do not have that middle chip, it doesn't matter because this video yet again explains you why my recommendations are so super important for you, because it helps you to build your heavy trooper chips to reach the maximum possible performance for your account while having a super important factor, which is do that in the cheapest way possible. Because a lot of players out there do a massive mistake and say, you know what, my main priority is actually to get a full set, and this is a goal which is extremely far away and in the short term will never gonna give you a very noticeable performance increase with every single upgrade you do. So what are we looking at? We're gonna use the Air Force setup, which is Mr. Bradley, Shinji and Mr. Abad. We're gonna use the new Heavy Trooper, and we're gonna have 40 battles with this setup, what you see now on the screen. I'm just gonna press the stats so you can have a look, versus using this middle chip, which is the Kris sword. So why is this so important? While the Kris sword is actually super awesome when it comes down to the new Heavy Trooper with Abad or with Asuka, what's also super important and a far closer goal to build your chips for your Heavy Trooper are actually the random stats. So in this case, that's exactly why I'm testing this, because the Kris sword gives me an army HP of 59%, which, yeah, it's absolutely equals 0 because this setup is purely for the planes, versus the Xyston set, which gives me on top this juicy 15.36% extra DEF for the Air Force. So let's put the numbers on the screen. This is the test with the Kris sword, and you see here 40 battle attacks. You also see here 14 fields marked in green. These are the cases in which I won. And of course you see the worst performance possible because all these battle reports here are sorted. How am I getting this negative percentage? Now if I win, I take the amount of units left in percentage, multiply that with 3 because that represents exactly 1% of my march, being exactly 300. Of course, taking into consideration also the reinforcement units coming from the shark formation, and then divide everything by 3.58, which represents exactly 1% of units for my opponent, which has a 358 march size. So these are the battle reports, and this is also the average. Now, for those of you which haven't watched that many videos on me testing, especially using this Alliance Honor match, one thing is super important: the lower the value, the higher the performance. So we also see here an average of 17% performance. Now we are switching the middle chip, and we're actually going to use the Xyston set and do another 40 battle reports in order to see exactly what's the conclusion, which setup is actually better. And here are the Xyston results on the screen. What you see here are 17 fields marked in green, which represents me winning 17 times. And of course, I have 3 fields marked in red, which represents the worst performance possible. And what's also super important here, it's the average performance being at 7%. Again, the lower the value, the higher the performance. So now let's put both these 40 battles on the screen with the Kris sword and also with the Xyston in order for us to take the conclusion. So here are the battle reports, and what are we seeing here? Yes, in this case, me using the middle chip, which is the Xyston, plus that extra random awesome stat, which is the DEF for the Air Force, brings me to a higher performance. That is no question about it. Now, I have stated at the beginning of the video that it simply doesn't matter if you are having exactly these two middle chips or having more or less the same case. For example, having the middle chip Kris sword with a random stat which absolutely is useless. In your case can be, for example, navy, or can be elemental, or can be some very useless stats. It's worth to do the test in order to see what performs far better. And I also promised you, for those of you which have chosen to watch the video till the end, that this video has a very high value. Why? Because this is the best way possible to build your heavy trooper chips step by step, with each of these steps having a noticeable performance increase, and it's far faster to reach these goals. And don't set the end goal, which of course having a full set, which will also allow you to have these extra bonuses, the 30% heavy trooper attack, all units 30%, and of course for 6 pieces, all units 100% attack. This is not the way to do it. And again, for those of you which have not watched videos on this channel regarding the heavy trooper, I can give you exactly the cases in which you see me, for example, in the Navy doing exactly the same thing, focusing mainly on the stats and not necessarily on the set itself. And this you can see also on my Doom Soul Blade, also me mixing in order to get best random stats possible. So anyways, beautiful people, we are back from holidays. Today I'm going to try my best to play the SVS. This is going to be a super important match. Of course, I have a couple of things still which I have to fix in real life, but I'm going to try my best today to do another episode in which we can take full advantage of this Alliance Honor match being absolutely the best testing tool possible in game, because there is no need to fill the screen with a text explaining the differences between two setups, because these battle results here speak a very simple language what setup is actually better. So as always, beautiful people, do not forget to support what supports you back since November 2022, which is, yes, this channel. So take a moment of your time, check if you are a subscriber. Do take in consideration to support us by subscribing to this channel. Also, you can share it with your friends. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao, guys.